Back to the Future has a timeless charm that makes it tough to imagine a modern remake or even a fourth installment. Recently, there's been some buzz about a potential remake, with fans already tossing around ideas for who could play Doc Brown, and Tom Holland's name keeps coming up for Marty McFly. But despite the excitement, there are a lot of hurdles to making this happen, and two big reasons why it probably won't. Still, it's fun to think about what a modern twist on this classic might look like. So many iconic moments, locations, and props could be reimagined today, but one thing that would be hard to top is the time machine. It's just as cool now as it was back then. If Back to the Future 4 happens, there's no way any modern car could match what the DeLorean brought to the original. The DeLorean was a quirky mix of being a notoriously bad car with tons of issues, yet it still managed to look stylish and futuristic. It was the perfect fit for Back to the Future, blending humor with sci-fi vibes. And let's be honest, Back to the Future did wonders for the DeLorean too. Before the movie, it wasn't selling well, but afterward, it became a pop culture icon that everyone recognizes. Today's cars just don't have the same flaws or the unique look that made the DeLorean stand out. Cars have become more standardized in terms of specs, features, and designs, focusing more on marketability than experimentation. The DeLorean was something special in 1985, but in 2024 there's no car out there that could capture that same magic. If a Back to the Future 4 were to happen, you might think they could just reuse the DeLorean since there's no modern car that can match it, but even that wouldn't really work. The DeLorean isn't a unique or special car anymore, it's more of a pop culture reference now. Everything that made the DeLorean iconic came from the 1980s, and trying to bring back that same vibe into the 2020s with the same car wouldn't have the same impact. Plus, if the fourth part didn't bring something new or meaningful to the table, there wouldn't be much point in doing it at all. If we had to choose a modern car to replace the DeLorean, it wouldn't be easy, but there are a few options that could come close. Back when Back to the Future was released in 1985, the DeLorean was already a decade old, so sticking with that idea, the best 10-year-old car that might fill its shoes would be the Nissan Juke. It has a futuristic vibe like the DeLorean did, though it's not quite as distinct from other cars of its time. Plus, with its need for premium gas, its modest 28 miles per gallon, and its small SUV size, the Nissan Juke fits the bad car element pretty well, even though it handles better than a DeLorean. Surprisingly, picking a truly modern car to replace the DeLorean is a bit easier. The DeLorean stood out because of its futuristic design, and one car today matches that vibe perfectly: the Tesla Cybertruck. With its sharp angles and stainless steel exterior, the Cybertruck looks like something straight out of another century. Plus, much like the DeLorean, the Cybertruck isn't without its issues. It has several performance problems, including off-roading challenges and a limited electric range, along with some noticeable design flaws like safety concerns and assembly problems. The Nissan Juke and the Tesla Cybertruck might seem like contenders to replace the DeLorean, but they both fall short. Even the Cybertruck, which comes close to capturing what made the DeLorean special, still feels like a knockoff. The truth is, there's no car being made today that's both uniquely futuristic and a bit of a flop. That's the one thing that can't really be updated, yet it's crucial for any fourth part, which should be a soft reboot. A Back to the Future remake might be doomed from the start if the car industry can't come up with something to match the DeLorean's vibe. Now the only thing beside the car that can save the movie is the cast of Doc Brown and Marty McFly. I have top contenders for both. First, let's talk about Doc Brown casting. And on top of my list for this role is Jim Carrey. Whenever talk of a Back to the Future remake comes up, Jim Carrey's name almost always pops up as a top choice for recasting Doc Brown. Known for his energetic and over-the-top comedic style, Carrey seems like a great fit to bring the same manic and zany energy that Christopher Lloyd originally gave to the character. Even though a Back to the Future remake would likely mean redoing the two sequels as well, Carrey is well suited for the challenge, especially since he's already starred in the Sonic the Hedgehog movie trilogy. In those films, he plays Dr. Robotnik, a comedic mad scientist, which is pretty similar to Doc Brown. Carrey, at 62, is a bit older than Lloyd was at the time, but he could still pull off both the younger and older versions of Doc Brown. Another popular choice for Doc Brown in a Back to the Future remake is Robert Downey Jr., and he's an excellent pick for the role. Downey is no stranger to playing brilliant characters, having made a name for himself as Tony Stark in the MCU and Sherlock Holmes. Plus, many of his roles have a comedic edge, which is crucial for capturing Doc Brown's quirky personality. One of the key elements to Back to the Future is the actor's ability to portray different versions of the same character, often under heavy makeup. Robert Downey Jr. has already proven he can do this, especially in HBO miniseries The Sympathizer, where he skillfully played 4 distinct characters, each with different looks thanks to makeup, wigs, and prosthetics. Next, we have Jamie Foxx. He has had a career that showcases his incredible range, making him a strong contender for Doc Brown in a Back to the Future remake. Foxx has tackled a variety of roles, from cool and composed characters in movies like Django Unchained to villains in Baby Driver, and even comedic wild cards in films like Horrible Bosses and They Clone Tyrone. Given that he's focused on comedies in recent years, it makes sense to consider him for Back to the Future, a movie that's fundamentally a comedy. But his performances in more serious films like Ray and Collateral prove that he can handle the emotional depth required for the trilogy's more intense moments. Foxx is also known for his energetic and comedic presence, even in talk shows, which could make him an excellent choice for bringing Doc Brown to life. Now, when it comes to Marty McFly, a lot of people want Tom Holland to take the role, but I think there are a couple of other actors who might be a better fit. First up is Walker Scobell. He's best known for his roles in Percy Jackson and the Olympians and The Atom Project, though he's still quite young, so he's a bit early for the Marty McFly role. He's got time on his side given the current delays with the Back to the Future reboot. Right now, Scobell is busy playing Percy in the Disney Plus adaptation of the Percy Jackson books. As he grows up, it might become harder to separate him from that role, similar to how Michael J. Fox was known for both Alex in Family Ties and Marty. In terms of young actors who resemble Fox, Scobell is a strong candidate. His youthful charm in playing Percy is a good fit for Marty. Well, that's it. Who do you think would make the perfect Doc Brown or Marty McFly? Drop your picks in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into potential candidates for a Back to the Future remake, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more updates. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.